Hey, what's up YouTube? It is Monday, November 1st, 2010. Today we have a 1 versus 1 on the map Steps of War, featuring Satiini as the blue Terran. I had to think about that for a second. And Pomidor as the red Protoss up in the top right. And you know what? While these guys get off to a start, I was going to say, it's 2 days until my birthday, and I don't know what I'm going to do yet. What should I do for my birthday? I live in northwestern Oregon, near Portland, so I need to find something exciting, maybe something kind of outdoors-ish. I don't know. But if you know of anything incredibly awesome and exciting that a StarCraft 2 geek would enjoy, let me know, and I may take that into consideration. Now, looking down here at the builds, Depot went down at 10 supply, now 11, and a pylon is now complete and getting ready to go into 11 supply, currently boosting out the pylons. Pretty standard play so far. Now, I will say this map is actually pretty susceptible to proxy pylons, especially right here. This is actually my favorite spot right here because it's got the flipped up rocks, and also right here. So good stuff there, although so far I don't think we're going to see that. But that's just a prediction because usually the pylons will go down later on in the game. Now, looking at the scouting, Protoss is going to come down here, check out what's going on in the Terran base. Terran getting ready to head out of his own base. Probe might actually do a little bit of harassment on the SCV. I do not know, though, as he is trying to, but I don't know if he'll be able to because there's another SCV chasing him around. Cue the Benny Hill theme as they go round and round and round. I'm not even going to try to hum that, but whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Ha! The Benny Hill theme is now stuck in your head. Alright, so gateway completed for Pomidor. And I'm probably just going to call him Pommy or Pomidor. I don't know. I like Pomidor better, but apparently he goes by both. So Cybernetics Core is going down. SCV checking it out. And the probes are just letting this SCV scout around. Don't really care too terribly much. Don't have anything on the way just yet. Well, no, we have a Zealot. Looks like that's just started up a second ago. And for the Terran player, Orbital Command is just about complete. About on time. Sitting at 17 supply. Now 18. And Marine guarding at the top of the ramp. One Lone Champ Marine doing what he can. And another one is on the way. While the Terran player is sitting about 100 gas or so. Sure enough, factory goes down right there. So we might see some sort of mid-level tech play, may see just siege tanks. I do not know because it's still pretty early in the game. Getting ready to cross up on the 4-minute mark. Protoss does have a sentry on the way. Warp gate technology coming in, pretty standard there. Sitting on one gateway still thus far. Don't have anything else out just yet, but we'll just have to see what happens as both players continue to build up their workers. Let's look actually at the income. You can see that Terran is sitting at a little bit better. I mean, duh, he's got a mule, so that's what you'd expect. But he is working on his second refinery, which, of course, the Protoss already has. So you can see the gas discrepancy there, and also 22 harvesters for Pomidor and 19 for the Terran player. So once again, we're going to have another little scouting fit here as the workers get ready to come in. High five as they cross the map. Oh, I guess they missed and the SCV's pissed. So they're going to chase around a little bit. Don't know really what's going to come of that, but there is 2 Zealots and a sentry heading out of the base along with a robotics facility going down in the Protoss base. Pretty interesting stuff there. Let's actually look at the army size just real quick. Terran sitting at 200 with no gas invested, 29 of 35 supply, and Protoss 32 of 42 with 300 and 200. Good stuff there. Looking at the production tab, just about done on the robotics facility. Siege tech is on the way, Observer as well. So both players are just continuing to build up. Terran is actually opting to spend some of his money on a command center, maybe looking to expand in the next couple minutes, and that possibly could be why he's building up siege tanks. We might see a really defensive play from the Terran player. We'll know in the next few minutes as the Protoss continues to build out of his one gateway, now 2 in just a minute, as he is now currently boosting out Immortals, which is a very, very good decision to handle the siege tanks and the bunkers and any possible marauders. However, it could be offset by any sort of marines. It depends on what the Terran decides to place. He is building a reactor as we speak, and we can see that siege tech just about complete. Another siege tank is on the way. So depending on what the Terran goes in terms of infantry, it'd be kind of interesting to see how the Protoss handles it, how he reacts, whether or not, oh, that was a very, very well-placed scan indeed. There goes the Observer, 100 gas down the drain, as Satiini does finish his supply depot at the top of the ramp. And looking at the armor size once more, we can see that Satiini sitting a little bit lower than the Protoss player, but he is in a very defensible position. Very easy to defend right here. 2 siege tanks, far enough back away from the bunkers to be able to hit any zealots that decide to come up, but still close enough to be in range to hit any stalkers and not be hit by the stalkers. So good stuff there as the Protoss decides to come up and try maybe to make a run at the Terran base. I do not know, but it is important to note that the expansion is now completely done for the Terran player, and he is moving around his siege tanks just a little bit, trying to get in range of the orbital command, so that way when it does land down, he will be able to defend it very easily. It looks like the Terran player is getting ready to make a run for the natural. He might not know that these Protoss forces are here, however, so he is sitting in these SCVs, barely bringing back just in the nick of time. Force field goes down, keeping the Terran forces from reacting to the Protoss player, while he continues to hold this natural expansion. And note that while he's doing that, he's building his own, just about complete. 1 gas on the way as well. That'll give him a little bit of an economic advantage as the Terran player continues to hold on to the top of the ramp, with the Observer a little bit better placed this time. It's not in the range of the Marines, barely, but if they do decide to come down, it will be attacked. Now you will notice there's another force field down here just beneath the command center, once again allowing this Immortal actually to come in, kill this SCV, and move back out just before it takes damage to its I don't know, its body, I guess. The shields are gone, so it wouldn't take 10 damage per hit, but note the siege tanks are still in a very good position, so any attacks on this bunker will have to be done under the fire of the siege tanks. And notice there's another SCV just about completed this bunker here, so the Terran player will be able to move out down the ramp, take into the bunker, and the Terran player is continuing to press out. Now note that this Protoss is not really reinforcing this. He's keeping just enough forces here to... come on, cat, get out of the way. Okay, so he's keeping... sorry about that. He's keeping just enough forces here to keep the Terran on the defensive and really not get his expansion just yet, which is exactly what he needed to do. He delayed for just long enough to get his own expansion up and running, so now the Protoss is in a very good position. You can see he is throwing down several more warp gates in his base. His Templar archives are complete. Might see some High Templar and some great Psy Storms in the near future. Weapons 1 is on the way for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, down on the Terran base, you can see Stim Pack is about 50% complete. Another reactor being thrown onto a barracks, and the Protoss player is trying to kill these rocks, so we may see a second expansion. I guess he just figures, okay, the Terran is just going to defend, and I'm just going to keep expanding, and that's going to be it. But little does he know, well, actually, he does know now because there is an Observer, that the Terran is moving out, so the Protoss is moving to try to catch these forces out of position. Don't have any Psy Storm just yet, but it is on the way, so there is going to be an attack. Siege tanks are trying to do as much damage as they can. These Zealots are chewing through the Marines, though. They're all attacking the wrong units. All these siege tanks were attacking the Immortals, the Marines were attacking the Immortals, so the Zealots were just chewing through the Marines, and now that they were able to finish the Marines, they finished up the siege tanks, and that attack went very well for Pomi, as he is now running back to his base to meet up with the rest of his forces. He now has 4 more Stalkers there. And he has way more warp gates, and he's sitting in a very good position right now. I do not know what's going to happen, but if he is able to secure a second expansion, this will look very good for Pomi, as he may actually move out again. I do not know. Certainly the Terran is in a less desirable position than he would have liked to have been in a couple, or at this point in time, but I don't know what he's planning. We'll just have to see, as he is building more and more siege tanks. He's killing the rocks to his own second expansion, and meanwhile the Protoss is just trying to get a little bit of map control, trying to make sure the Terran isn't going to come in down through the southern ramp, and attack this expansion. So right now he is just hanging out, map controlling, getting High Templars, which is a very good move. It'll definitely make short work of these Marines, which of course the Terran player has opted to get. He's not really getting a whole lot in terms of Marauders, so opting for the Marines, definitely a good counter for the Immortals, but the Psy Storm can rip through them so quickly. However, do note there is a Ghost on the field now, and you will note that it doesn't quite have enough energy. Now it does for 1 EMP, so we might see one in the near future. It'll have to land right on all the High Templars. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. There it goes. EMP lands on some of the units, but unfortunately not really enough of them to make a difference. So the Protoss continues to come in here, some great size storms laid down, and now he's just going to wreck through this expansion. These depots unfortunately cannot do anything, as they will just have to take it from the Zealots and the Stalkers and whatnot. Meanwhile, Terran moving down here with more forces. Might see a storm on the ramp. No, does not look like we will, as actually a lot of these Templar are pretty low on energy. Tries to storm the SCVs, and unfortunately the SCVs do run out. You can see the health. Some of them got hit. Unfortunately, not really that great of a storm, though. So he is making 2 Archons, and the Protoss player is moving down here to try to keep the Terran on the defensive, try to kill some of these units while these Archons finish. They will definitely lend themselves very well to the killing of this SCV army, which is now trying to take out the eastern portion, or the right portion of this this army. Unfortunately for the Terran player, he is just not able to fend off the forces before losing all of the SCVs in his expansion, and he's not building any more either. You can see he's trying to retreat with the ones he has, keeping his SCVs hidden away, and right now the Terran is in a bit of trouble. You look over here, you can see that the Protoss player has expanded once again to his 2nd expansion, and he's also maybe getting ready to come up to the top through the 2nd expansion for the Terran player. So we'll just have to see what happens, as both of these players, it looks like, are just going to sit around and macro up a little bit, not really choosing to push that attack any further. I think he knows that the Terran does have enough siege tanks to push off any attack in the near future. And if the Terran player decides to get any more ghosts, he will be in a very good position. The problem is, he just does not have the gas right now. You can see from the income tab, he doesn't really have a whole lot in terms of gas income. He's running off of 2 refineries right now, and that is it. He's also had to drop an armory, and he's got some medevacs now, so we'll have to see, as he's still focusing on the Marines. He's already pretty heavily invested into them, but the problem is, he has not upgraded them at all, and the Protoss is just continuing to build up. You can see he's got several High Templars now with plenty of energy to do a lot of damage, warping in even more High Templars right now, and still sitting on plenty of gateways, plenty of money, and he is now currently boosting out weapons level 2, so he'll be able to chew through these Marines even faster than before. And I think the next encounter may come soon, as the Protoss is sitting in a really good position. Here it comes up at the top of the ramp. There's an observer here, but it's just out of range of the scan. No, it is not. It does go down, and the Protoss decides to fall back and try to hang on just a little bit longer, maybe get a few extra Templar to handle these Marines. But I mean, if you think about it, there are plenty of High Templar here. There's 7 of them there, and there's plenty of Marines. Now we might see a drop, actually, maybe an attempt to delay the attack. I do not know, but we can see that there is an expansion from the Protoss right here at the high yield, which is actually really close to the Terran base. I'm kind of surprised that he put this here, but he may just think that victory is his for sure, so he is going to attack this. Meanwhile, the Protoss is going to react by sending his own army down here, and really, I guess if this were a delay tactic, it would be working pretty well right now, but the Terran player is not expanding at all. He is just holding on to this one base right here. You can see his minerals will run out pretty quickly. He is moving out, though. He probably is thinking he's in a little bit of trouble, as he does establish himself on the ramp just outside of his natural. Meanwhile, the mainstay of the Protoss forces are hanging out down here in the southeastern portion of the map, breaking through the rocks, making sure there's no expansion down here, and then probably going to double back towards the middle, where if the Terran player can catch the Protoss out of position, maybe get some of those Templar, if he has a ghost or something, that will definitely help him win, but I do not know what's going to happen, as here comes some High Templar, unaware of the Marines, not paying attention. Oh, there goes the storm right there, landing on some of the Marines, not really a whole bunch of them, though, as the Protoss does charge in with a very zealot-heavy force. Here come the High Templar. Might see some storms here very soon. There goes a couple of them on the siege tanks, none of them on the Marines, but they are being chased by the Zealots and the Archon. But the Protoss is actually falling back just a little bit. He's really not aware of the fact that the Terran doesn't have too much here at the top of the ramp. If he was aware of that, he probably would push on, but he's just biding his time and dealing with another attack down here in the high yield expansion. Fortunately, he was able to kill that, or kill most of it, with his cannon, but one lone Marine lives down here with 15 hit points, stemmed up, trying to kill as many probes as he can, but he has no chance. This was definitely not his day, as the Protoss force does come down and kill it very quickly. So the Terran player trying to once again reinforce this top ramp. I do not know if it will be enough here. The Protoss force is once again massing in the middle of the map. Here come 2 observers getting ready to scout this out. I think once the observers get down here and realize just how little of a force the Terran army has, then the Protoss will be able to move in here very quickly. And here they comes down towards the middle of the map. Observers actually retreating back just a little bit. Not too sure what's going on with that, but there are more High Templar here coming out by themselves, actually. Oh, this is not a good position for Vomador. The Templar are being just corralled all across the map. There goes a couple of them right there, avoiding the storms, but finally the Marines do meet their demise, dying to I think, the third storm right there. So the Protoss is once again warping in even more units, more High Templar, more Zealots. Very good combination for dealing with this very tiny army that Satiini has right now. We can also see that there was a little bit of a drop here. I think I missed that, but that's okay because we can see that there are even more warp gates up here for the Protoss player as he does move into these Marines, taking to the top of the ramp, getting ready to attack these siege tanks, and I do not think that Satiini will be able to do anything at this point, as we can see that he has indeed left the game, concluding this 1 versus 1. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will put up some more videos in the next day or so. Later.